doing? I'm sure everybody is well, because none of us had to stay up late last night, courtesy a sensational bowling effort by the Indian pace attack, led by Jasprit Bumrah, his career best. And oh my gosh, I mean, when you see Indian pacers bowl like that in overcast conditions against England, it's a sight to behold. We got to see that, Nikhil, yesterday. It was incredible to watch.
Absolutely incredible. Jasprit Bumrah and Mohammad Shami with the new ball. You know, I would go on to say one of the best new ball displays by any fast bowling unit, Meha, in recent ODI history. Jasprit Bumrah was absolutely brilliant. You know, all that, you know, he hadn't done well with the new ball, and we did a show yesterday around that. His numbers had gone down, but yesterday he showed, you know, that class is permanent. He's back, and he's back with a bang. I mean, what a spell with the new ball. That first over itself, Meha, he bowled 6 different deliveries. And he got 2 wickets. I mean, that set the match up. England were on the back foot. And, you know, the first 5 overs, 4 wickets, breaking the backbone of the famed England is a world-beating ODI unit. You know, they are one of the greatest ODI teams of all time. This England team, one of the greatest batting units of all time. Champions of 2019. What a spell by Bumrah.
That's right. So it's not Bazball, it's jazz ball now. Jazz ball's overtaken Bazball, and as irritating as this term is turning out to be, Bazball. But yes, that was an incredible performance. Yes, India had the momentum, Nikhil, given that they'd won the T20 series just before this. But like you said, England, a very good side. They had Joe Root returning, Johnny Bairstow, the informed Johnny Bairstow. He was in there, Ben Stokes there. But when you bowl like that, and I think the thing that stands out for me is that Indian pacers are anyway so good without the conditions favoring them. But here comes, you know, you win the toss, you put in the team to bat first, and just the way they almost seemed like they had the ball on a thread, they were controlling it beautifully. And I also love the fact that Mohammad Shami was relentless as well. So the pressure was created from both ends. England just didn't know where to go, where to hide.
Absolutely. You know, Bumrah and Shami were absolutely one of the great, you know, spells of modern day fast bowling by an opening pair in an ODI match we witnessed yesterday. Yes, there was a tinge of green which went against England. Yes, it was overcast, a bit muggy temperature, so the ball was swinging and seaming much more. And the surprising thing was, you know, all through the English summer, the Duke's ball, the test ball, which is supposed to swing a lot, hasn't swung. And therefore, we saw Baz ball and Shaz ball and I don't know what not ball. But yesterday, this white Kookaburra ball, which does not swing that much, not supposed to swing because it's a limited overs match, it was swinging prodigiously. Some of the deliveries by Bumrah and Shami both were absolutely, you know, unplayable. So, you know, fascinating what is happening in the English summer, but it is England. Anything is possible. Everything seems to be as uncertain as the weather. But absolutely splendid. The match was effectively over, Meha, at 26 for 5. 26 for 5 hasn't happened many times in, you know, England's ODI history. And as great a batting lineup as they may have, I mean, any team, you can keep 5 Vivian Richards in a team, 26 for 5, the team is over.
Yeah, that's right. And then on top of that, the way India chased that target down. I mean, I think it's like thappad ke uppar thappad.
Absolutely.
there is one thing that you get a team out for what is the lowest total that England have scored against India, 110, and then you go out there and chase that down in 18 odd overs. It was just a masterclass really in how to what would you say, a morale busting masterclass in how to win in those conditions.
Absolutely. You know, chasing it down in under 20 overs, Rohit Sharma again leading from the front. He could have very well, you know, played out 35 overs and chased this target down. He wanted to finish it following the new template, 70 odd or 50 odd balls, while Dhawan played the accumulator, under 20 overs, chase it down. You won by what, 188 balls or something, which is what I think India's third highest number of deliveries left to win an ODI match chasing. 10-wicket win, one of the best wins against England, a formidable England unit, and all these wins will count. Remember, the World Cup is next year, and England are one of the favourites in subcontinental conditions. Even on spinning tracks, England is a formidable team. So to beat this England team the way India did yesterday, bowling, set it up, and then Rohit polishing it off, absolutely sensational.
Okay, now let's talk about Jasprit Bumrah's spell in detail, because that was again wonderful to watch. Not because we know what Jasprit Bumrah can do, but just how he used variations, how he was varying the length, how he knew to set up Jason Roy first up, the way he set him up, you know, in swingers, and then which was short of length deliveries, and then a fuller delivery, which was slightly wide, and Jason Roy, very eager to get off. He is somebody who's been struggling for form, tried to go for an expansive drive, and then inside edge, and you saw the way he got that wicket, just dragging the ball onto the stumps. Then you had Joe Root,
yeah.
who again, that was a different delivery.
Yeah.
The bounce did it, the extra bounce. Again, he was expecting in swingers, but the extra bounce, that did him. Johnny Bairstow, shot of length.
Yeah.
Again, you know, the edge, outside edge, going to Rishabh Pant, which was a brilliant catch as well. Just the way, and then the Yorkers for tail-enders, which is again, you see Jasprit Bumrah bowling and you think like, how easy is it for him to bowl Yorkers at will?
Absolutely. He's one of the best exponents of Yorkers. But those 4 wickets, you know, in his first 4 overs, conceding just 6 runs, delivering a couple of maidens, that was absolutely sensational. The way he set, as you spoke about, the way he set Jason Roy. Jason Roy had a great record at the venue. The way he set him up, you know, he bowled those in swingers, and then one delivery in the corridor of uncertainty, held its line, he just poked at it, edged. He dragged it onto his stumps. Then Joe Root, the ball jumped of a length, which is impossible to play. But again, you know, England were committed to playing that shot because England also play aggressive cricket. Ideally, you should leave that ball. Joe Root should have left that ball, but he's committed to play that ball. Edged, Rishabh Pant, very good catch. Then, you know, Johnny Bairstow, Baz ball, 7 of 20. So Baz ball didn't work here. 7 of 20, a number of outswingers, then one which held its line. Johnny Bairstow edged. Then Livingstone, fastest century in England's T20I history. But yesterday, I mean, he couldn't understand what Bumrah was doing. He came, he was given a Yorker. He, you know, bailed that out. Next delivery, what Livingstone did, he has the audacity to come out to Bumrah, expose his leg stump, and that in swinger, you know, rattled his leg stump.
Yeah. I think what Livingstone was also trying to do was just upset his rhythm, because he knew something had to be done. Jasprit Bumrah was just unplayable at that moment, so he thought maybe if he just steps out, tries to hit him, you know, maybe, just maybe, Jasprit Bumrah, his rhythm would be upset. But none of that happened, because Jasprit Bumrah was absolutely brilliant. And then on top of that, Nikhil, if you have Jasprit Bumrah bowling like that, Mohammad Shami, you know, seam up, beautiful seam position, yet again. And the fact that as soon as they realized that in these conditions, bowling fuller delivery, the test match length is going to help them, they went for it straight away, which he even spoke about in the press conference as well, where he said that we both had this conversation and we knew that the fuller deliveries are going to be better here on this pitch. And then Mohammad Shami as well, getting those crucial wickets.
Absolutely. He got 2 big wickets of Stokes and Butler. I mean, 2 of England's most destructive batsmen in the format. And both of them realized early, because the ball was swinging and seaming, we should pitch it between the good length and the fuller area. Not over pitch it, but also not bowl short of length. So, you know, most of the dismissals, if you see, except for the, except for Livingstone's and a couple of the dismissals of the tail-enders, were of deliveries between the good length and fullish, between that length. And that uncertain length, the ball swinging, ball seaming around. I mean, Shami has one of the best seam positions in the world across formats. Also, we all think Shami is a great test bowler. Yesterday, he reached 150 wickets. Fastest Indian, third fastest ever in ODI history. Third fastest ever. Also, his bowling strike rate, which is the number of deliveries you take to pick a wicket, of 27, which is he picks a wicket every 4.5 overs in ODI, is the second best in ODI history for a pace bowler after Mitchell Starc. That is serious. It's not a fluke.
Do you believe, now this is again, I think Parthiv Patel raised this question in one of the shows I was listening to him, where he said that, you know, it almost seems like Mohammad Shami right now is not in India's T20Is, that scheme of things, T20I World Cup, they're not looking at that. Mohammad Shami in that. Do you think if Mohammad Shami ends up bowling well here in the 3 ODIs and the ODIs in the West Indies, do you feel like there is a chance that they can get him? I mean, his experience, and he bowled well for Gujarat Titans. We saw what he did every match. The first over, he got you a wicket.
Absolutely. See, Mohammad Shami has a fantastic record in the IPL. And we've discussed this during our IPL review shows. his USP with the ball is that he picks up wickets with the new ball, and his quality of wickets. 90 to 95% of his wickets in the last 3 or 4 years for whichever franchise he has played have been of the top 5 batsmen. His quality of wickets is even better than Bumrah's. Bumrah has a mix of top order, lower order. Also, we noticed this, his bowling strike rate in the last 4 or 5 years in the IPL was better than Jasprit Bumrah, and we were all shocked. How did that happen? So Mohammad Shami is a fantastic T20 bowler. Just that the selectors think that, he has to be, he's what, in his mid-30s, he has to be preserved for Test cricket, and then now in ODIs also, so you can't also play him in T20s, he'll burn out. Which is a fair call, because India, has the Prasidh Krishnas, the Arshdeep Singhs, the Umran Malik, there's Bumrah, there's Bhuvaneshwar in form. So, maybe Shami can be rested from the T20Is.
Okay. The other thing being, we were having this conversation yesterday about Hardik Pandya in the ODI setup, playing an ODI after close to a year. We're talking about whether he'd be able to bowl consistently with 10 overs. Didn't need to. And I think this would probably be the way forward, because just the way they are bowling, you didn't need anybody else. They did pitch in. Prasidh Krishna got wickets as well. But the way your top 2 pacers were bowling, you didn't need. And at one point, I remember having this conversation in the newsroom with you about, why when they were around 6 down and Prasidh Krishna and Hardik Pandya were bowling, and you said, why can't you just get Jasprit Bumrah back and just end England's misery? Because you knew when he came back for a second spell that he would get wickets straight away.
All sorts of pressures. So let's not get there. But, I think they also wanted to get some match practice to try Hardik Pandya, to try Yuzvendra Chahal. India finished the match up in 45 overs, so it was almost like a T20 game. But it's good for India. Hardik is bowling and he's easing into, his rhythm. To get 10 overs out of him, I think, is a bit of a stretch. But, 5 to 6, if India plays 6 bowlers, is a good enough, option for India.
Okay, since you do the numbers, tell me, what does 5108 stand for?
5108.
That's right.
5 overs, 1 maiden, 0 runs, 8 wickets.
No, just 5,108.
What does that mean?
That's the number of runs Rohit Sharma and Shikhar Dhawan have scored together in ODIs, and that also just goes on to show how special a partnership that they've had. I think Sachin Tendulkar, Saurav Ganguly's would be 6,000 something plus, right? So these two have been very good. They've been exceptional for India when it comes to their opening in ODIs.
Absolutely. Now that you mentioned that number, only 4 opening pairs in ODI history have 5,000 plus runs. You mentioned Tendulkar Ganguly, Desmond Haynes Greenwich, what a great pair that was. Hayden Gilchrist, and these two. 18 century partnerships between them, one of the greatest opening pairs of all time. Dhawan and Rohit have been phenomenal. Look what they did in the 2019 World Cup. They have been doing this since the 2013 Champions Trophy, and Dhawan has been great in ICC tournaments for India. His record in ICC tournaments, in fact, is almost as good as Rohit Sharma. Of course, Rohit had a great 2019 World Cup in England, but Dhawan is a serious big match player. Yesterday he played a support act, but this ODI pairing is one of the greatest of all times. And
and I think with in the innings yesterday, the partnership between them, it really was Rohit Sharma who was the aggressor, where Shikhar Dhawan sort of took a back seat. They also knew that they were going to get there, so just go all out aggressive as they've done in T20Is. Wasn't really needed.
Rohit did that.
And that was aggressive enough.
Rohit did that. Rohit was striking at 130. Dhawan played anchor because he was also playing after a while. He was trying to get his eye in. But Rohit clearly has an agenda. He wants to play that template because, he thinks that's the only way India can win these ICC tournaments, and fair enough. Why not? He's the captain. He should take the shots.
I wonder how fans there think of this. Of course, Indian fans would be thrilled, but have they got their money's worth, given that for 100 overs, you've only got 44 overs in the day? I know exciting and all of that, but I'm sure there must be listen, we came to watch everybody. We came to watch Suryakumar Yadav bat. We came to watch others bat. This is over. The evening's free. We don't know what to do.
I was happy. Otherwise, I would have to write a piece at 1:30 at night. The people doing the live blog were very happy. So, this happens, and I think people and fans will be very happy with India's performance. Because it was one of their finest performances. But England will bounce back. You can't expect England to fold. England are also going through a transformation. One must realize that. Morgan was a very, very fine ODI captain. His record is one of the greatest of all time. It matches the record of Clive Lloyd, Ricky Ponting, Stephen Waugh in terms of win-loss, tournaments won, bilateral series won. So he was a very fine captain who led England's ODI revolution. Jos Buttler will take time to fill in his shoes.
Absolutely. The other thing being, how were you surprised by how ineffective England bowlers were? I mean, not that they got to bowl a lot, but 18 overs, at no point did you feel like the duo of Dhawan and Rohit were tested.
Yeah, the thing is, if you score 110, there's a psychological thing also.
Yeah.
If you have 300 on the board versus 110, then nothing swings. Even if it swings, the opposition batting lineup is very confident they go. So that is the way it works. Also, I don't think England's strength is their bowling, wide ball. Their test bowling with Anderson, Broad, Ollie Robinson back in the Mark Wood is very good. But the ODI bowling without Jofra Archer is a bit, I wouldn't say timid, but it's mediocre. It's not world class. So, India any day has a much potent bowling unit, at least in limited overs cricket compared to England.
So there you have it, Jasprit Bumrah special, supported beautifully by Mohammad Shami as well. India, the batters really didn't need to do much. It's just Rohit Sharma and Shikhar Dhawan who went out and, won India the match with 10 wickets, which is also the biggest win. I think this is the first time ever against England where India have won by 10 wickets. That's it then. Nikhil Narayan, thank you so much. That's it on this special. For all the latest News 9 Sports is what you need to subscribe to. For now, goodbye. Thanks for watching.